Fred Taylor, isn't it? Yes. And that's, I always knew her as Aunt Doll. I don't know whose aunt she was. She was Aunt Doll. Lovely Fred. Now that is the first of the lines of the poem. A very tall young man there, who will be known great one. Yes, very tall. Can you see that, Owen? Yes, that's great. Anyone else?
There's Pup's nephew, the very end one, isn't it? Used to
So that, yes, that's Biscuit.
Yes.
Stuart Nicholson next to Gray.
Yes.
Is that?
That's Stuart.
Oh yes, that's Stuart Nicholson.
Hubbard is front there. Is it Hubbard at the front there next to that girl?
Oh, Hubbard. Is it?
Yeah, Barry Clay, Hubbard.
Oh, is it?
That's Harry Starnes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's Little Eagle. Big Eagle, yeah.
Oh,
Michael Eagle.
Michael Eagle, I remember. Yes. Well, there we are. That's
Oh, there's Dick. Oh.
Who's the man with the five keys?
Do you remember Bob Eastwood? He was Humpty and Palmer's biscuits, and he used to sell large tins of broken biscuits in the shop. We used to buy them for a song, absolutely normal, because he was Humpty and Palmer's salesman. But he was quite a live wire. He used to get things going, like Frank. And who else is there? That's Freddie Field, and that's can you read that? That's Colin. Yes, Ned has. Yes. Ned used to live on the corner. Yes, well, there we are. Okay? And then
That's next to us.
that's remember that cottage?
But
That's right, there's Bert Howard. He lives in there. And
Park the other side. Now this is interesting. This is in 1858, when the population was 375. That should be 145, is it not? And in this village we had this parish shop, that's right. Gentry. Somebody asked me what qualified you as being a gent. I don't know, but they were gentry.
You'd go on that line, Nick.
Would I? Somebody would stand up and make a fool of themselves. Farmers, there's only one farmer.
Republican.
Bolster, yes, he was obviously the one who lived in the Maltings. Blacksmiths, two blacksmiths, Jeffrey Thomas Howard. Was he Bert Howard's father?
Yes.
Tailors. Imagine all these trades in this village.
all those hearts.
I remember the wheelwright, I remember the slab. There was a circular slab where they heated up the wheel to put the tire on, heated up the tire, the metal tire. and then they'd pour water over it because otherwise it would have burnt or would work away. But it would then cool and shrink and drive the specks into the house. And all that gear was there when I arrived.
Shoemaker.
Shoemaker. Yes, we had a shoemaker. And a carrier. So you could pretty well get by in Brinkley without going out. Yeah.
No.
But that was Coronation Son. Wonderful characters there. Just one or two of them. That was Professor Maxwell, who lived in the Grove. And that was your father, I know of him. And that was Ned Harrison. Bob Eastman there. That was Margaret's father. That's Joan Coble. So that was but she was at the Grove, wasn't she? She helped Professor Maxwell. I think that was Peggy, sitting next to Ted Taylor. I wasn't there, unless I was taking the photograph. Now I put this in because it's interesting. The organ was purchased in 1852 for the sum of £40. And still works very well. And some would say it wasn't worth £40. I think it was a very good buy. And apparently we collected £50, so we had a good return. And then here we've got, oh yes, the bells were rehung. That was in 1802. And they collected £32.60. And that was to commemorate the coronation of King Edward VII. That was in one of Dick Corey's notebooks. I thought that was interesting. Now that was the old barn between me and there. That's that one's still there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you're trying to find.
And that's when the
Beautiful.
sheeting was taken off. It was quite a good frame, and I think the frame is at Brown. I don't know whether they used it or not. They said they were going to.
Sacrilege.
That's us.
Yes, that's you. That's
Oh.
I think the Hearts were probably living there. That's lovely.
You could open the windows then.
Now, does anyone know where that?
Was that the barn next door? Was that the barn next door?
Yeah, that wasn't Katie's barn.
No,
Yeah.
not the other
I
one.
don't-
Next, where the balls are, there was a big barn.
Oh, there was a big barn there. It could have been that one. Yes. Anyhow, there were 5 farms within walking or cycling distance of Brinkley, because I interviewed Len Taylor, who was a wonderful character, and he lived to quite a great age. And I caught him while he was still very, very with it. And I asked him lots of questions and taped the interview. And I learned a great deal from him. And he told me about the farms because his father, he was proud of his father, he used to be the cowman at the hall. And the hall, the kings were there in those days. And they had a farm
quite close to the wall. Another one halfway down Hall Lane. The pond is still there if you look over the wall. There was another farm, the charity farmers, I think, operation in those days. It's called Farmers Charity, not because it was for the farmers, but it was somebody called Farmer who in fact started the charity going. That's charity farm. And there was another farm, Chalk Pit Farm, just down the hill, going towards 6 Mile Bolton. And there was another one, Lower Farm, a bit further down. They were all
Pig farm. Hills Pig Farm.
Oh, Hill Pig Farm.
Yes, Dad.
Oh, yes, yes, so there were a lot of farm and a lot of horses. I think Len said there were about 30 odd horses, big cart horses, that his father ultimately looked after. And we had a carriage. I think we're getting to the end now. That's an interesting picture. The meat, lovely colourful occasion. I hope they'll go on doing it. Very nice. There's some characters there, I think, there. That was Harry Drury. That's Rose. That's Bert. That's right. Do you remember Silly? Yeah. Silly Carter. I don't know where they are. Don't recognise those. Probably an outing. They're all in their best. So that's the other brother. Yes. There's the steam engine at the finish. And there's a tug of war there. Because we used to have great fun. Another outing. The nurse Taylor was always, I think she gave me these photos on these slides. She was a lively character. Now that was the start of a footpath walk. They let it be right now. It's not going back all that far. I recognise that car. Now, I put that in because the countryside looked so much nicer in those days when you had these lovely stacks. And I shall never forget seeing Sid Webb up on the stack with an enormous saw, sawing down and sawing out a sort of sugar cube of straw. And, he was doing it just as it was done. But it was a pretty sight in those days. And of course they used to thatch. Well, there's the combine harvester in operation. The one that's there. That's the threshing machine, if we can see it. Threshing machine being driven by the steam engine. There's a belt, a long belt drive. You see it from the big fly. I don't know if you recognize it. Well, that's the home farm near the hall. I don't recognize the cow. Lovely horses, wonderful car. Now that's interesting.
Foreign language.
Need a mirror.
Just imagine
was on inside out.
Thatched cottage.
That was the cottage where Cy Granger lived
Yes,
out.
that's right.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Nice cottage at one time. That's where the yellow house is.
That's where Mrs. Codell after that.
That's opposite where we live, Pete. That's opposite our house.
Yes, that's right, opposite yours. Yes. Now that's the corner house, which I think doubles now.
Broadacre, that is.
Broadacre.
Broadacre.
So I'll be behind it.
Yeah, it is.
That's the one on the corner.
That's the
Yeah.
one. That's
Yes.
the corner. Right in the house.
It's been like a house. Doubles up.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Well, that's Jeffrey. I thought we'd put him in because he was a very great man. I remember him so well. And he had, in his house, he had an absolute hoard of treasures, first edition books, wonderful, wonderful pictures. And he used to leave his front door open and always used to say to me, don't knock, don't ring, just walk straight in. And he never lost a single thing. And it's incredible in those days. He had a wonderful, wonderful collection. And he lived to a ripe early age. He used to love taking me on at croquet. And even in his 90s, he would get down on his tummy and sight the fall of the net before he could. Incredible. And he always won. Drinking time now.
Thanks very much indeed. We'll have a short break and people are very welcome to recharge their glasses and then we'll have 10 minutes or 15 minutes of questions afterwards before we make our way home. The floor is yours. You have, two people who know a lot about the village, and if anyone has any questions, or as I say, has any recollections of their own to give, I'm sure we'd all like to join in and hear about it. So it's up to you.
Particularly the latter.
I remember one amusing incident which brought home to me the uselessness of metrication nowadays. Because we live in a house next door to where old Bert Howard lived, where Dinah and John now live. And in the cottage as it was then, there was no heating, no electricity, no water. And the pump, which is still there, the pump where he used to draw his water is still there outside the house. And it started leaking recently, and instead of coming and repairing the leak, the water wall came and turned it off, which I thought was rather a shame, but it could be restored. But that's where he used to collect his water in buckets, and he used to build a fire, an open fire, and that was the only heating he had, and the only way he had of cooking. And so we'd chopped a lot of trees down, we had a lot of kindling, and as I collected, I used to put it over the fence to him and stand up on a box and talk to him sometimes over the fence. And one day, I remember I was talking to him and looking at his garden, and he did everything himself, even though he was over 90 by then. And I said, you've got a lot of work to do here, but you must have about 1/4 of an acre, I would think. He said, I've got 4 rod. I had to go inside and get pencil and paper out. I thought, rod for 5.5 square yards, log pole or birch, and I went 4 score, that's 80, and I worked it out, yes, it was a quarter of an acre. And the other thing I remember, when dear old Bert died, and some months or a year or so later, when Diana and John decided that they'd build a new house there, this must be, what, 25 years ago, I suppose, maybe 30. And Bill Lytton was instructed to demolish the cottage. Now, half of it hadn't been lived in for some years, where old Puck used to live.
He fell through the floor.
Yes, yes. He died shortly after we arrived. And anyway, I was in the bathroom in the morning, about 7 o'clock or something like that. And along comes Bert with his
Bill.
along comes